Joining us now to discuss is Democratic Congresswoman Yassamin Ansari of Arizona. She is a member of the House Oversight Committee. So what is it that you'd like to learn from Hillary Clinton today and Bill Clinton tomorrow when he testifies, Congresswoman?
Well, as we've always said, we are looking forward to getting information from anyone who may have it. So the secretary has been pretty clear to say that she had no relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So a lot of the information and questions that I will be asking today intend to verify that or not. Questions around, how long she's known Epstein, whether she's been to any of his properties, in what context they've engaged one another. And then tomorrow, of course, with the former president, I think there's much more important questions to be asked given their possible relationship. But again, this is part of a much broader investigation. Last week, of course, we spoke with Les Wexner, who was the main financier for Epstein. So hopefully one of many depositions to come as part of this critical investigation.
Just to quickly follow up with you, you said tomorrow there are much more important questions with Bill Clinton. As you heard Hillary Clinton say, we have nothing to do with this, nothing to hide. What are those questions you have as you look ahead to tomorrow?
What has become extremely clear to me throughout this investigation is that there were many, many, many people who helped to enable and perpetrate the monstrous crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. And so I really want to know anything in regard to who those people may be, whether it has to do with other rich and powerful men who were around Epstein and may or may not have known about his crimes and still allowed them to continue. I want to know more about the people involved on the financial side of things. And we know that to make these vast crimes possible, many people were involved. So as much of that information will be vital. This is also, of course, coming at a critical time where the New York Times and NPR and others have confirmed what we have found, which is that the Department of Justice has withheld over 50 pages of FBI investigations into credible allegations from a minor against President Trump. So this is very concerning to me. And we know this is an ongoing cover-up by the Trump White House and this Department of Justice, and we need answers immediately.
Important point indeed. CNN is reporting that the Clintons have been hunkering down to defend themselves and are planning lines of attack against potentially hostile questioners. You're there in Chappaqua. You'll be one of the questioners. Is that a wise approach for the Clintons to take, in your view?
Look, honestly, I just want honesty from them. That's what I'm looking forward to. We do know there are potentially 10 Republicans here. It's very disappointing because last week, not one Republican member of Congress showed up to question Les Wexner, who again was the top financier for Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, they are all here now. It's a spectacle for them. They're not serious about this investigation. They've made that very clear. It is oversight Democrats that from the get-go have been pushing. We are the ones who got a subpoena for the Epstein files before there was ever an Epstein Files Transparency Act. We have gone to every deposition. So, I'm sure that the Clintons have prepared accordingly for that. But we're here to take this seriously. There are victims, countless victims, who have shown so much bravery by coming forward, and we owe it to them to take this seriously.
Do you wish that Democrats on oversight, when they had control and when they had the power in the White House and DOJ, had done more to get those documents, given what you just laid out there?
I think more absolutely could have been done. It's important to remember that during the Biden administration, there was an active ongoing investigation into Ghislaine Maxwell, which of course ended with her criminal conviction. So that's vital. But this has been going on for decades, this cover-up. There is no question in my mind that the FBI and the Department of Justice and rich and powerful people and the elite Epstein class in this country has been able to cover up their crimes for a long time. But the dam is breaking and the truth will come out, and we will not stop until there is accountability. We've seen it in other countries, and it is very embarrassing that the United States has not operated in the same way when it comes to accountability for people who were involved or enabled or perpetrated crimes themselves.
You had mentioned those missing files. The Justice Department says it is reviewing whether Epstein-related documents mentioning Trump were improperly withheld from public releases. Among the missing records were these 3 interviews related to a woman who accused President Trump of sexually assaulting her decades ago, something that President Trump denies. Does it give you any comfort that the DOJ says it's going to look into this?
This is the most egregious cover-up in American history, and I am not surprised that the Department of Justice has covered this up. That's why I've been calling for Pam Bondi to be held in contempt or impeached, because she has been complicit in this and has a direct hand in this cover-up. But I also want to point out the fact that Kash Patel and the FBI are also complicit in this. The files that are missing are FBI interviews with the individual who came forward with these allegations of abuse when she was a minor. Kash Patel went in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee under oath and said that there is no credible evidence that anybody else was involved in Jeffrey Epstein's crimes or that he trafficked anyone underage to anybody else. So I have serious reservations and questions for Kash Patel in addition to Pam Bondi because of the recent reporting by the Times.
Congresswoman, if these records were in fact withheld for some pernicious reason, which the Trump administration obviously denies, what sort of consequences should there be?
I think that Pam Bondi needs to be impeached for the cover-up. This would be a massive, massive breach of trust with the American people. The Epstein Files Transparency Act is abundantly clear. Every single Epstein file needs to be released unredacted. They have already violated that over and over and over again, and it's unacceptable. I also think that the fact that Pam Bondi came before the House Judiciary Committee and made clear, based on what photographs showed of her binder, that they were effectively spying on members of Congress who are going to look at these unredacted files. So there need to be consequences in the form of firing or impeaching Pam Bondi. We need to look at Kash Patel and the FBI. And this administration has many questions to answer, but I think it's very clear that the American people are not going to let this go. Neither are we.
Democratic Congresswoman Yassamin Ansari of Arizona, thanks very much for joining us. Good luck today in this deposition. We'll be anxious to hear how it unfolds.